We're going to be covering the 5 biggest mistakes that entrepreneurs make when building business credit and how to avoid them. The goal of this is to help you start to find access to funds without having to use your social security number and without having you to always have to go to the bank or worship at the altar of the FICO score. This is where we help you understand and move forward in building your own business credit. Some people are like, what is business credit? Business credit is credit that is obtained in the business's name. This is credit that is linked to your business's employer identification number, not your social security number. Once an initial credit profile and score is established, a business can use its credit to qualify for lines of credit, credit cards, as well as loans. This is the power of business credit. What are some of the benefits? Well, let's put them up here. Business credit provides a business lots of unique things. Imagine being able to, on your personal side, you got a certain amount of credit that you have. But what if you were able to take your credit and then with your business, get anywhere from 10 to 100 times more than that? Business credit is done very quickly. In fact, when you work with the Wise Guys and Ties, we help you get $50,000 in lines of credit in as little as 6 months. For some businesses that are just starting or have never built any business credit, it could take up to 12 months. But it's really something that can be done very fast. As opposed to on the personal side with your personal credit, how long does it take you to build your personal credit to say a 750 or an 800, right? That could take a long time, but not so with business credit. Business credit can give you so many advantages because when you use business credit, there's no impact on your consumer reports. So there's no utilization issues, there's no inquiries, none of that. To qualify for business credit, you don't need to have good personal credit to get it. No liability because on the personal side, because everything stays with the business. And this is stuff that you can do even as a startup. Most people feel like they have to wait till they've been in business for 3 to 5 years before they can go after this. Not true. If you know how to do it the right way, you can get business credit even as a startup. And most people know when you go to the bank and you're applying for any kinds of funds, they want to see your cash flow, they want to see that you have great personal credit, and they want to see that you have collateral. None of those are required to get business credit. The 5 biggest mistakes that we find that people make when they try to build their business credit, these mistakes are huge because we find that everybody makes them. They make them when they try to do this on their own. And so hopefully we can peel back some of the layers here and show you some of these errors and how to avoid them. 90% of business owners know nothing about business credit. That just comes straight from the Small Business Administration. Then that means that even a smaller amount of people know how to get it because business credit is different than personal credit. And you have to know those differences. So let's start with mistake number 5. One of the first decisions you make as a business owner, it's a very important one, is what type of entity you are going to create. What type of business are you going to be? Or that choice can have so many different consequences later on down the road. Depending on the different entity types that are out there, you might be thinking about, should I start an SCorp, a C-Corp, sole proprietorship, a partnership, maybe an LLC? There's so many different business types, and depending on what your tax strategy is and what your goal is, maybe you're trying to seek anonymity, helps you decide which one of those types of businesses you want to be in. But when it comes to starting a business, people don't often know what the right choice is because there's so many different options. And it seems like you can talk to several different people and they'll give you a different answer. A lot of people seek advice from an accountant, and they'll give you some great tips on how to save taxes. They usually point you in the direction of an S-Corp or an LLC. But a lot of people are also seeking anonymity. They want to protect their own personal identity. Whatever your choice or whatever your goal is when you're setting up your entity, you got to consult with professionals always. So here's the problem though. If you choose the wrong entity, you don't know what you're doing, it can cost you a lot of money. Right? If you get into a large, like say an S-Corp or a C-Corp, that could be a lot of money right up front if you're not ready for that level of incorporation. If you decide to set up a sole proprietorship or a partnership as opposed to an LLC, you take on a certain amount of liability, not just taxes, but also credit. There's a lot of different A lot of different choices that you have to consider. So a lot of people err on the side of, well, I want to get tax savings, and that's what's really important, or I want to protect my identity. There's a trade-off between saving taxes and anonymity and being fundable. We don't have enough time to go into all those nuances, but there's a time and a place for everything. There's a time to be in startup mode and to maximize your tax savings, and there's a time when you pay taxes and maximize your ability to access business credit. We talked about how a lot of your tax professionals will recommend an SCorp or an LLC, which has great benefits. Make sure you choose the right one for you. But what we're trying to get you to do is to stay away from the sole proprietorship model or even the partnership, because really, I mean, we'll spell it out here in this next slide. With the sole proprietorship, you are the business. And since you are the business, you're liable for whatever happens, including if you get sued or anything, they can come after you personally. And if you have any debt or credit with your business, you'll also personally be liable for that debt as well. So we like to stay away from those models. All right, so what we want you to do is the most powerful benefit of building your business credit is that you can separate your business and yourself personally. With a sole proprietorship, you run the risk of commingling funds, which makes it very difficult if you were to ever get audited to prove what's income and what's expenses. If you were to default on your business credit, if you have business credit, it just stays with the business. I mean, your company, it can be sued, but you personally can't. And that's why you want to have that built on a corporation, because you really can't build business credit with a sole proprietorship. I mean, you can get certain lines of credit, but for the most part, you're not an established entity, a separate business. So you can't get high limit cash credit cards, or that doesn't mean you can't get business credit cards in your name, but you'll have to personally guarantee everything that you put in there. One of the main reasons why we do this is to create that separation from you personally and the business, which is also recommended by the SBA. So what we want you to do is limit your personal liability by choosing the right entity, but avoid the sole proprietorship and the partnerships, and instead choose a corporation or an LLC as your entity. And you can avoid a common mistake that most people make. Why are you listening to me? My name's Joseph Smith. My business partner, Ray Fleming, and I started a company called Wise Guys and Ties. Why is it called that? Because we're wise in the ways of helping you build, start, and grow your business and get up to $50,000 in lines of credit for your business within just as little as 6 months. So the purpose of this company is to really help give you the tools and the resources that you need, the knowledge that you need to build your business, if you already have one, or to start your business and grow it and help it become fundable and get access to liquidity, even in hard economic times. All right, let's talk about mistake number 4, right? Here's what happens. All lenders and creditors, they have a secret set of underwriting guidelines that have to be met, right? There's a certain bar that you have to achieve to meet that. And if you meet it, then you automatically get approved, because there's just a computer underwriter that just goes through a checklist and makes sure that you're approved. But if you don't meet the criteria, you won't get approved. And over the last few weeks, we've been covering 10 different things that the computer zeroes in on. And I don't have time to go over all 10, but here's a big one that we've been seeing lately from a lot of our clients. And that is that a lot of people with their business name and their industry type are choosing industries that are high risk industry. And you want to stay away from names that indicate that you're in a high risk or restricted industry. And we see this all the time, especially when we're working with people as a startup. Because, a lot of people, they think, well, I have to go start my business and then I'll start working with you. And that's not the case. We can start working with you before you even have your business, because we can avoid this critical mistake here that so many people make. And here's what I'm talking about. So let's take a look. These are the industries that'll get you an immediate decline. You put any of these names in your business: ammunition, weapons, bails, bonds, right? Check cashing agency, energy, oil, finance. This is a big thing, because a lot of people that work with us are investors, and they can put different types of finance terms, investment group, anything like that you can put in your business name, and that can really hurt you. Brokers, commodities, loans, mortgages, banks, all of that, bail bonds, mutual funds. Obviously, gambling, loans, pawn shops, political campaigns, public administration, X-rated product or entertainment. If you have any of this information in your business name, then you're going to get an immediate decline. And what most people, the biggest one that affects most people here is the finance one. These are the industries where the guidelines are not an immediate decline, but they're very strict. It does create a red flag, and it could get you in a decline, or it could delay the process. And so if you have agriculture, auto in your title, courier service, computer, dry cleaning, entertainment, general contractors, gasoline, healthcare, special trade, hotels, jewelry, limousine, long distance trucking, like over the road. See, a lot of our clients are over the road truckers. And so we help them, right? We help them get to this. Mobile, manufacturing, phone sales, real estate. Probably the number two groups that we work with are real estate investors, real estate agents, and truckers. It just happens to be the people that are calling the wise guys and pies. And we love working with them, and our clients achieve tremendous success. Restaurants, software, how do you avoid that? You got to have a generic name for your business. A lot of you want to say, yeah, this is Joe's Trucking, Joe's Logistics, but it's better to just say, this is Joe Enterprises, this is Joe Development Group. I mean, something generic in your business name that doesn't immediately deny you access to any funding, right? So let's talk about mistake number 3, because we got to get through all this information here. So one of the biggest mistakes that entrepreneurs make is they look for business credit, and many of the credit issuers that are out there, they say they offer business credit, but do they really have business credit? The credit asks for business details on the application, and it has the business name on the card, but is it really business credit? This is how you can tell if it's really business credit. So the credit that a lot of credit issuers out there will give you that say it's business credit comes in the form of a debit credit card, and it's a revolving card. It's got the Visa or MasterCard logo on it. But in those cases, business details, they ask for them, and it looks all legitimate and official, but it truly isn't business credit. And why is that? Because anytime you have to supply your social security number or give a personal guarantee, you're not getting real business credit. You're getting a credit card that's issued to your business, and it's issued to you as an individual. If you default on any of the money on that loan, you are personally liable. And if your consumer credit is bad, you won't even get approved. True business credit doesn't require that you use your social security number on the application. Once you supply your social security number, what you're doing is you're saying, go ahead and run my personal credit, and I will personally guarantee this. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's explicitly there, but on the application, when you fill it out, that's what you're telling them. And the credit issuer will pull that credit report, so you'll get an inquiry, and they'll make their decision not based off of your business, but based off of your personal credit. What they're looking at, your personal FICO score, and what makes that up is your own personal payment history, but as well as your utilization. And this is where people really get dinged, and they don't understand till it's already happened to them. You're trying to keep your utilization under 30% if you want to grow your credit score. And when you get this business credit card and you start using it, it immediately throws off your utilization just by using the card. And then you start to see your credit score go down. You got an inquiry, and then you start using this card. And if you've learned about business credit, one of the things that is amazing that people love about it is that true business credit utilization doesn't matter. And so some people have this thought, oh, I just got a business credit card, right? And then they go and they use it, and then it's over 30 or over 50% utilization. And then their personal credit score goes down, and they're like, what just happened? It's because you don't really have a true business credit card. What you have is a personal credit card that you've extended to your business. And when you find this out, it's too late, right? You can automatically know that you've made this mistake, or you're about to make the mistake if you're filling out a business credit card application, and it requires your social security number. Do you have true business credit? Only if you've obtained credit without supplying your social security number. If you did supply your social security number, the odds are that you might have a business credit card. It might report on your business credit, it might not, but it's probably also reporting on your personal credit. And this means you won't get those benefits that I was talking about, like no not having to worry about utilization, right? Not having to worry about maxing out the credit card. As long as you can make the minimum monthly payment, you're fine. But all those benefits with business credit goes away because people make this mistake. This is why it's on our list of mistakes. Right, so let's talk about mistake number 2, which is very closely related to mistake number 3. We are all conditioned that when you get an application and it asks for information, you just fill it out. You just put the information in there. But a lot of people, so they give their social security number because they're asking for it. And did you know that there's no law that requires a social security number to be supplied on any credit application? However, there are 2 federal laws that make it a felony if you put anything other than your social security number in a field on a financial application for social security. So some people put their EIN number in there, or they just put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're actually breaking the law when you do that. Best option for you is to just leave it blank, folks. People are like, well, what about online applications? I can't get past the next field because there are many ways to get past that. There really are. And one of the easiest ways that we coach people is have a fax number for your business. And on every application that's online, there's a number at the bottom of the screen that you can call, and you can ask their department to fax you the application. Then you fill out the application, leave the social security number blank, and then send it right back in through the fax. Now, if you're like, a fax, I don't have, get a digital fax. It doesn't have to be the analog fax. There's plenty of digital fax out there, but a lot of credit applications and credit issuers will have a fax number to where they'll send out the application, paper application, and where you can send that back in. When you supply your social security number, you're authorizing them. We've already said that to go ahead and check your consumer credit, and you don't want that because you don't want to put the inquiries on your account. You don't want any of that. You can leave the social security number field blank, and you can get approved for many types of credit this way: vendor credit, store credit, fleet credit, cash credit, auto vehicle financing. There's so many different types of credit out there that you can get approved for without using your social security number. So even though you can get revolving credit without providing your social security number, most business loans still require it. That's the way the banks are. The banks have certain laws like Dodd-Frank and other laws that out there that require them to still get a social security number for loans, but not necessarily lines of credit or corporate credit cards. Almost all business credit lines and loans will require your social security number, and they will do a credit pull for those big amounts, like over $250,000, $350,000. But when you're applying for that much money, it's understandable that the bank wants to have you on the hook in some way. But if you're just trying to get $50,000, $100,000, $150,000 in corporate credit cards or lines of credit, there's no reason that you need to supply Social Security. A lot of companies will tell you is, oh, you got to be in business for more than 3 years, you got to have revenues in the millions, and you got to be well established with more than 20 trade lines reporting. That is true. That's what they want. And so what do you have to do? If you can build your business credit the right way, you can make your business look legitimate, and the more credit lines that you have reporting, they can ease some of those restrictions, especially on the revenues and the years in business. It just depends on how much credit and what payment history that you've established, what track record you have. And everything can be, everything's negotiable. But if you're just coming straight out of the gates and you have no credit, business credit at all, they're going to sometimes slap you with these other requirements. So it's best to start building your business credit and getting a great track record with lenders. And then other issuers, credit issuers, we've seen this happen many times, will ease the restrictions and still give you a credit card or a line of credit. The number one mistake, right? Number one mistake is that people don't apply for their credit in the right way. They instantly want a high limit cash credit card, and so they go straight for that. Or they want auto vehicle financing and they go straight for that without having built that payment history we're talking about. And it must happen in a very specific order. You've got to start with the vendor accounts, those net 30 trade accounts, then move to store credit, revolving accounts, then we got fleet credit, fuel credit, and then from there, once you've built enough accounts, then you can get high limit cash credit card. How does that work? Well, hardest way to get started is those net 30, the vendor accounts, right? Because 97% of them don't even report to the business credit bureaus. So you can get lots of net 30 accounts, make purchases, and then they don't report. And then there are those that do report, but they have certain requirements that you must meet before they will report. Sometimes you've got to make certain a minimum purchase price before they report. Sometimes you've got to be making purchases for 3 consecutive months in a row before they'll report. And so some people have tried this and they don't know what those underwriting guidelines are. And so they get frustrated. They're like, I don't understand. This is why it's challenging for folks. Because if they're not reporting, this is something that's very difficult for a lot of people starting out. But if you know what to do, if you understand the guidelines and you understand their requirements and you know what that is before you start, then you've got a leg up on the competition. You'll know exactly what you need to do to get this taken care of. Well, you need to get 5 of those vendor accounts at a minimum. I always say shoot for more, go for at least 6, right? But you need 5 at a minimum. Then you'll be able to start getting store credit, right? Those revolving accounts at stores. And then you need to build up 5 more accounts. So you get 10 more of those reporting. From there, you'll need to get more of the fuel credit, the gas cards, so that you can kind of round it out at about 14, 15 accounts reportable. Once you're there, then you can get access to up to $150,000 in lines of credit for your business, as well as auto vehicle financing for your business. Again, you got to make sure you apply for this credit in the right order. This is the #1 mistake that people make, because they just want the big money, they want the big loans, or they want the big lines of credit, and they start at the end when there is a process, a step-by-step systematic approach to doing it. That's #1 mistake that people make. So in summary, right, you can apply for business credit with your EIN without using your social security number. You've got to avoid the 5 mistakes that we talked about, which is make sure you set up an actual entity, a corporation. Don't be a sole proprietorship. You've got to have legitimacy. Make sure you have the right business name, address, phone number, right? You got to be in the 411 directory, the right business email, fax number, website. All of these things are so critically important, right? And then understand that real business credit doesn't require a social security number or a personal guarantee. So there should be no consumer reporting on a business credit card. And if you're filling out an application, leave the social security number blank. Don't put anything else in there, because that's a felony, right? But you are legally allowed to leave it blank. If you have business credit established, let them run the application on the strength of your EIN. Apply in the right order. So many people start with the high limit cash credit cards, the Visa, the MasterCards, when they need to do vendor credit, store credit, fuel credit, fleet credit, and then get the high limit credit card. Now, contact us today, the Wise Guys in Ties, to expedite this process, because we can help you build your business credit in as little as 4 to 6 months, right? We're talking about getting real results, getting up to $50,000 in lines of credit based off of your EIN that's not linked to your social security number. Go to wiseguysinties.com to learn more about this. When you enroll in our business credit builder, you get access to 24/7 program that's custom tailored to your business and helps you step by step work through this process, right? It's in English and Spanish, and we actually have a team of financial advisors that coach you through the process. And we don't wait for you to call us. No, we call you every day for the first 2 weeks, and then we back off about a week, call you once a week after that. But we're going to help our financial advisors, our team, our program is going to help you set up your business name, your entity, your EIN, help you get set up the right address, toll-free phone number set up, help you set up your fax number, your 411 listing, help you with your website and your email address. If your business needs licensing, we'll help with an online listing compliance check. If you don't have a business bank account, we'll help you set up the business bank and the merchant services account. Get your account set up with Dun & Bradstreet, Business Experian, and Equifax Small Business. If you don't know how to set that up, that can sometimes cost people hundreds of dollars when it's actually something that can be done for free if you know the right way to do it. Your BIN set up with Experian. If there are things that are already reporting inaccurately on your business, if you're an established business, we have ways of helping you work through that process and solve and repair your inaccuracies on your business credit report. So we actually walk you through that. We have the largest supply of those starter vendors. 97% of them don't report, but we actually have the 3% that do report, right? And we also give you a massive selection of retail and fleet credit that does not require personal guarantees, as well as that hard to find cash credit and auto vehicle financing with no personal guarantees, cash flow financing with bad credit, unsecured financing, right? The whole nother side of this is we help you get financing with our loan officers. That's separate from our building your business credit. Once we built your business credit, now our loan officers jump into action and get you cash flow financing, unsecured financing, asset-based financing, SBA loans, right? The EIDL, the PPP, term loans, lines of credit. You have your own finance team when you start working with the wise guys and ties. But what does it cost? Well, our services, we have no credit checks and we finance people for $4,997 paid over a 1-year period of time. Or you can pay one time up front and get 50% off, over 50% off. $2,497 is what it costs to work with us. And when you work with us, you're getting all of those benefits that I just listed for up to 5 years working with the wise guys and ties. Folks, I want to thank you so much for having us here with you today. As we think outside the bank, we learn to build business credit and avoid the 5 mistakes that all entrepreneurs seem to make when they go to build business credit. If you want more information and you want help working with the professionals that can help you get this done and build business credit, especially in hard economic times, to the tune of $50,000 in the next 4 to 6 months, I mean, that could really help a lot of businesses really get out of, if you're facing a hard economic time, really get through that right now. Give us a call at 888-524-9273. Our email is also there on the screen, or go to our website, check out all our information about business credit. Listen to the audio testimonials from people who have utilized our program and had wild success. And look at the articles and the different information that we have on there to help you be educated and make an informed decision. But it's so critical, so important that you don't sit on the sidelines, but that you take action now. Make a choice to make yourself, your business a priority. Give us a call and we'll help you build business credit. Thank you so much. God bless you, and we'll see you on the other side.